Welcome to the Art Studio Insights podcast, where we demystify the creative process and exchange ideas with career-minded artists. We are your hosts, Adriana M.A. and
Jackie Sanders. We are two emerging artists sharing forward the advice and business lessons we have learned along our journey. So if you're not already, please go ahead and subscribe. This will help other creatives like you find our podcast, and you'll be notified when we launch a new episode every Tuesday. Today's episode, we are so excited because we're going to be talking about memberships and online creative communities.
And as we prepared for this episode, we were able to identify three main types of memberships for creatives that we also keep encountering time and time again. So we're just going to go ahead and dive right in. One of them is going to be art techniques. So you've probably seen these on Instagram ads, and if you haven't, you will at some point. But essentially, they're instructional. They'll show you a specific technique a lot of times, like how to do landscapes and oils, for example, and how to play with encaustic, or usually a specific medium or specific style. And we can definitely talk about this in another episode, but that's one of the types of creative memberships we find out there. Mm-hmm. Another one is ideation and mindset. So a lot of these have to do with, I'm stuck, I don't know what to do in my business. So they help you generate ideas and break them down into manageable pieces. Generally, there is a coaching element to it, or even a mastermind element to it. But essentially, those are not so specific about what you're doing creatively in your art practice. They're more about just like how to make those big ideas and how to break them down. The third type is business support, which is the type of creative membership that we're going to be focusing on today's conversation. And that is the type of membership that basically goes into the details of what the day-to-day operations are for a creative business. As most of you know by now, if you've heard any of our episodes, or if you're already working as a small business owner as well as an artist, making the art is only part of it, right? So these business support type of memberships, they're going to cover different things like social media strategies, spreadsheets, to track sales and inventory, how to stay afloat through challenging times, basically all the business bits, the admin side of it that makes it a business and not just a hobby, right? So that's what we're going to be focusing on today's conversation. And we'll be diving into our brand new community, which is a business support type of community. And that is the Level Up Artists community and how we got started.
Yeah, so I am so excited to officially be launching this membership because, as you guys know, Adriana and I both have studios that are open to the public. And so we get so many visitors, which is so great having that valuable feedback on our work and those conversations. But we also get a lot of local artists. So they come and ask us questions, which we, of course, are always willing to share anything and everything we know, which is why we started the podcast, of just sharing forward these lessons that we've learned along our journey. But we realized that through talking to each other, we were fielding a lot of the same questions, really people asking about different resources like book recommendations or websites, or how to get connected with exhibitions, different business strategies, and all of that stuff that, in my experience, art school didn't really teach you, and it can be different depending on where you are. And so when we were talking to these artists, we really found that we were getting a lot of the same questions. So we really wanted to create a place where we could share and connect with more artists.
Yeah, and so much that we wanted to go beyond just the artists in our area, which of course it's amazing, but also expand this a little bit. So that's when, we put our heads together and said, okay, can we look what kind of platforms are out there where we can basically have a place for career-minded artists to come together, to rise together in a spirit of community over competition, and just just help each other out,
Yeah.
So this is why we're extremely excited about this opportunity, for a community platform and a place to build deeper connections with our fellow career-minded artists.
Yes. So, as Adriana said, this is called the Level Up Artist Community. And so, this essentially will be a monthly membership that we're really going to focus on transforming your art business and helping artists level up through a community of goal driven creatives. You'll get advice from different industry professionals. We'll have course modules that cover everything from social media to technology and just sharing sustainable business practices that we've learned on our journeys.
Yeah, and there are going to be 5 main ways in which this membership is designed to help career-minded artists. I'll kick us off with the first one. It's basically finding your focus and taking inspired action. So this isn't about piling more on your plate. Nobody has time for that, right? This is basically about focusing on the things that actually make a difference and level up your art career.
Yeah. And so the second thing we're going to be focusing on is really balancing the creative and business practice that it takes as an artist while keeping your sanity along the way, because it can definitely feel like it's piling up. So in this community, we're going to really work together to look at that big picture, the holistic view of your art career to really build a strong foundation and sustainable foundation for your creative business.
Yeah. Another goal of this community is to help you show up in a way that feels right for you, right? So no icky sales tactics or anything like that. This is about learning how can you leverage technology and social media to show up as your authentic self, right? To share content that tells your story, nobody else's, connect with your target audience. I mean, basically tailor it to you, but in a way that feels comfortable to you and natural, not some sales gimmick copy paste situation that feels, that feels kind of strange.
Right, exactly. And I feel like that ties perfectly with number 4 too, of really saving yourself time on your creative journey. Because we've all been there just scrolling through social media or strolling through different content of this expert says do this expert says do that. But really, what do you need to piece together to create a cohesive strategy for your creative business, curated towards your individual goals? So, yes, learning from successful artists and industry professionals that we will have come in and really learning from them firsthand what it takes to thrive in today's art world, because we all know what's going on today is very different than 2 years ago, which is very different from 10 years ago. So, focusing on that cohesive strategy to make your art business the best it can be.
Yeah, absolutely. And another one of the big ones is this is all about joining a community that is about sharing it forward, right? Like what we're trying to build here is a place where you can find support and accountability in an ever evolving membership where we value community over competition. We connect with fellow creatives who share similar goals and challenges. Like let's get some of the same minded folks together and see what we can make it happen.
Yeah. And one of my favorite things about this community is that inside the Level Up Artist membership, we're really going to focus on the things that really matter. So, practical education, honest advice, and resources that artists need in order to level up their creative practice while still staying true to the artist that they want to be and what feels right to them.
So you might be thinking, who will benefit from joining, right? I mean, it's a fair question. So, in our humble perspective, any creative that is career minded and looking to level up their business, look, we've been there, we get it. We both remember when we were starting out, it was really tough to grow without a community to go to for business support. Art questions, sure. Business questions, not so much.
Right, exactly. And so I feel like this would be perfect for artists who are probably very excited about the idea of building an art business, but maybe they're nervous about what that actually takes or what they have to do with that whole art business side of things, because that's not really talked about that much. Or maybe you have a big creative goal in mind, but you really aren't sure how to get there.
Yeah. Or maybe you're an artist who's looking for direction in their marketing strategy. That's usually a biggie. What's a marketing strategy, right?
Right.
Or, and I was in this one for a long time, you're trying to narrow down your style and create a cohesive body of work. So what do you even narrow it down to, right?
Right. And really having the confidence to sell your work. That was a huge hurdle that I had to get over in terms of how do I present it? How do I list it online? What do I have to do to develop that online presence or online brand that feels authentic to me? That was a
Yeah.
really big hurdle that I had to get over.
Another one is struggling balancing a full-time job and the art practice. We've been there, we get it.
Yes.
Not a fun time, but there are strategies that, that we'll share with you that worked for us on how you can have both. You can have your cake and eat it too.
Right, exactly. And in line with that, I feel like any artist that might be feeling overwhelmed will definitely benefit from this membership because you do have to wear a lot of hats as a small business owner. And you might just be wondering, like, when is it going to be easier? When is it going to start paying off? And really focusing on this community will help you go in the right direction.
Yeah. This one was a biggie for me. You might be an artist that feels excluded from the art world with a capital A. So you might be feeling alone and in the trenches, and that's where a community can help you, right? As well as you may be looking for fun, like-minded creatives who just get it. Like you have business questions, right? It's not just about the art side, and you're just wondering who to ask. So that's another thing that we're working towards here.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like most creatives are so friendly and so willing to share their advice and lessons that they have learned. And this will be a super fun and positive community. But ultimately, this group will be focused on career minded artists and artists who are really looking to level up their art business right now and start taking action towards that.
Right. So, all that being said, this membership is meant for you if you're ready to take the action steps necessary to make art the focus of your career and you are looking for advice on how to create a sustainable and profitable business practice.
Yeah, and especially if you're ready to like commit to building your audience, growing your sales, and really developing your work in a way that feels right to you, I think this membership will be the perfect place to do that. Especially if you want to be creating a cohesive strategy for your art business and learning from other successful creatives who are thriving in today's art world. That's why we're creating this membership.
And if you're looking to stay focused and take inspired action in a community of artists who are innovative, goal driven, and supportive, this is going to be the membership for you.
So, getting into the nitty gritty details, what's included in this membership? So, the Level Up Artists community will all be based on a hub. So, this will be hosted through a website called Mighty Networks. It is not going to be a Facebook page because, personally, in my experience, I get super distracted on Facebook. So, we
All the
really
videos
wanted
and the ads.
yes, all like other people's posts and ads, and then you get in this random rabbit hole. So, we really wanted to create a platform that would really serve as the creative home for the Level Up artists. So this will be a place that we will be sharing resources, doing different education videos, and really being that platform that all community members can connect on. So it's very similar to a Facebook feed, in which case you can watch videos, consume content, comment, share your own content, but really connect as a community all in one place.
Another exciting feature of this membership is small group accountability. So you'll actually have the opportunity to opt in and join smaller pods where you can build deeper conversations with fellow artists. So you can show up with your fellow pod mates who will provide support, accountability, and camaraderie. Like, oh my goodness, it's going to be amazing.
Yeah, I am so excited for that. And another feature that we will have in the membership community will be weekly live calls. So these will be each month where you'll be able to ask questions, interact with fellow members, share your feedback on content that we're putting out. and really share what you want to see prioritized in the group. Because after all, like this whole community is about growing together. So we want to make sure we're producing content that directly benefits the artists in the community. So we will have those live calls as well as weekly structured videos where we focus on really practical education to help you level up areas of your art business.
Yeah. Another feature of this membership is basically the resources and systems that we are going to help you with, right? So, where to even start with a template or a guide for social media content or calendars, art inventory spreadsheets, client agreement templates. The list goes on, right? But these are all different resources aimed to help you optimize and organize your art business. Don't wonder anymore, where's that painting at? What cafe is it sitting on, and when do I get it back? No, there are systems to help you and make it pretty straightforward and easy. And that's what we're going to be sharing with you, what's worked for us.
Right. And to that point, this will be a membership of group mentorship. So we both have our own art businesses. So you will have ample opportunities to ask us questions, learn from what we have learned along the way, because we will really be sharing our years of experience and all of those really tough lessons that we had to learn along our journey that hopefully we will be able to save you some time doing by sharing what we have learned.
Yeah, we've definitely had a lot of trial and error.
Right. If we can save one artist a day's worth of time, I will call this whole group worth it.
Absolutely. One of the most exciting things too that is part of this membership, and I'm just over the moon over this too, is guest speakers. So we are going to have industry professionals coming into the group so that we can all together, us and you, learn from their experience in running creative businesses, working with galleries, developing sustainable studio practices. Look, we have years of experience between the two of us we're going to share with you, but we're also going to be bringing in folks that have been in this game even longer and are willing to share what they know and what's worked for them. That will probably work for you too.
Exactly. And all of that being said, this will be an ever evolving membership. We want to put that out right in the beginning that, like, just like a painting, we're going to be doing this membership one layer at a time. And so no matter what stage of the art career you're in, there's really a lot that we can all learn from each other because we are all career-minded artists and ever evolving. So we are so excited for this membership to launch, and we will have our founding members launching starting today.
The membership will be open for the next 2 weeks, and it will be closing at midnight Eastern time on Tuesday, July the 13th. Just wanted to share with you real quick while we're at it. This is for about the cost of a pizza. You'll have access to the community. Founding members will also have the option to purchase a special edition print that Jackie and I created together, and you'll be able to access it for a discounted price.
So head on over to levelupartist.com to sign up and join.
All right, that's a wrap on today's conversation, and we hope you enjoyed this episode.
Both of our blogs will be linked in the show notes, where you can find full episode notes, resources, and links for every podcast episode.
If you want to stay connected with us in between episodes and share what you have learned, you can follow us on social media. I'm May Art across all platforms.
And I'm J Sanders Studio across all platforms. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next week.